Well, hey everyone, welcome to another author interview. I am so excited because today we have Sarah K.L. Wilson here. She is the author of Dragon School. Sarah, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good. Thanks for asking.
I'm super excited to have you here. We actually recently had you on an episode of Young Adult Edition. We talked all about your series, and now we get to talk specifically about you. We're going to answer some questions. So if you are joining us live, we would love to hear from you. Jump into the comments below and ask your questions now. We will be getting to those in just a little bit. And if you're on our replay, we still want to hear from you. Jump into those comments, let us know your questions and comments, and we will be jumping into those comments afterwards to get those answered. And if you happen to have a question that's amazing that we did not get answered on air, we might just be able to drag Sarah back to hang out with us again. I see we've already got people hanging out in the comments with us, so we are so excited to see you guys. Alyssa says she just started reading the first book in Dragon School last night, and she's so excited about it.
That makes me excited. I love it when I have someone just starting this series. It's like a fresh new birth.
Right? It's so much fun when people dive in. But before we talk too much about that, because I do want to get into that, I love questions like that. I want to know a little bit about your story. So tell me, what do we need to know about Dragon School?
So Dragon School is the story about a disabled girl who has a dragon basically adopt her. She goes to Dragon School to choose her dragon and learn to be a dragon rider. But instead of her choosing, he chooses her. And it's about their amazing relationship and how it slowly kind of grows and blossoms to the point where they're saving the world together.
Which is so amazing. And I know you actually kind of write this like a TV show. Can you explain a little bit of how that works?
Mm-hmm. So I love TV a lot, maybe too much. And because I love it so much, I like those long ongoing story arcs that come in little itty bitty pieces that I can watch when I have time. And so I wrote this series to be like that. So it's written in 100-page installments, and each installment is complete. Like it's a complete episode, just like for a TV series, but the overall arching plot goes on with character development. It's going to go for 20 episodes, and the 15th one comes out on the 20th, so really soon. So we're getting actually kind of close towards the end, but it's kind of exciting that way because you get to watch these big, long story arcs, but with these fast-paced little episodes that go really quickly.
So what kind of gave you the inspiration to go with dragons? I feel like that's such a fun thing to write about, but how did you get into writing about dragons and the whole fantasy world?
Well, there were a few things that got me into that. One of the things was I've always loved stories about people in training and stuff. And when I was thinking about training in a fantasy world, I thought it'd be neat if it was like those like World War II training videos where it's all guys like learning to fly planes and bombers and stuff. But what if they did it in a fantasy world and had dragons involved and they were riding the dragons instead of flying airplanes? And that got me really excited. And also I haven't really read a lot of fantasy. I know there's quite a bit out there, but I haven't read a lot with dragons and with people who had like where they weren't the bad guys, where they were like on the team with the good guys doing stuff. And I thought this would be neat. It changes a lot of the dynamics. There's not as much walking through the forest for weeks and weeks and weeks to try and get somewhere. There's more of just like showing up on your dragon. And it kind of, it adds an interesting element because anywhere that the two of them are going to go, a dragon has to fit. They can't sail on a ship because the ship can't really hold the dragon without sinking. So it makes things kind of interesting and just kind of added a little more excitement and creativity to the story for me.
That's so interesting. I think that's a really good point, too, because you have to be aware of where that dragon is going to fit. So I have to ask, where has your dragon not been able to go? And maybe where's the most interesting place that you squeezed a dragon into?
So actually, this won't be a spoiler, but today when I'm writing, I was writing some of book 17 and the dragon has to dive through a balcony window and he can only just get through there and he's kind of wiggling his way through to get into this castle.
That's amazing. So guys, that's a little bit of an exclusive there for those of you that are fans. I'm excited about that. I love exclusives. And I know that you write this pretty fast, right? You're like right after each other. It's every 18 days you have a new release?
Every 18 days. And so I'm writing the books too in 18-day intervals. I always have the next book ready when this book comes out. So it's ready to go. So we know the next installment's coming, but then I got to work my butt off to get the one after that ready.
That's so funny. So tell me a little bit about your writing process. How do you go about doing this because you have such a fast turnaround time?
Yeah, so I used to write full-length novels and I'd have them really carefully planned scene by scene. But when I started Dragon School, it started going so fast that I didn't really have time for the planning. So now I just feel like I'm along for the ride with everybody else. And surprisingly, it's going really well. So I open up my computer screen, I think, I wonder what happens next. And I start writing and that's what happens next.
It's your own personal TV show. I love it.
That's right. It's really fun that way.
That's so funny. So I know you said you're kind of getting to the point where you're going to be wrapping this up. Do you have plans after this? Because I know you just said that you also write full-length novels. So are you going to do another series that's a little bit shorter, faster paced? Are you going into other novels? You have an idea yet? Or is it kind of when you get there?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to write a season 2 of Dragon School. So this will end with these main characters, and it has a good, solid, hopefully very rewarding ending. But I'm going to roll right into season 2. We're going to start with a brand new character right where this book left off, one that's been introduced in this series, but who wasn't the main character. And these characters from this book will make cameo appearances. But if someone wants to start on season 2, they can just launch right into season 2 without having read season 1 at all.
That's fantastic. Oh, I love that. So it really is like an ongoing TV show where you just kind of turn your eyes to the side just a little bit and look at another character. I love it. Amber's in the comments. She is saying dragons with exclamation points. Alyssa has asked, why did you decide to take the route of novellas, 90 to 100 pages versus full-length series, which we touched on a little bit, but we are going to be talking about that in just a minute. I do want to let you guys know that if you are here with us live, we would love for you to do us just a little bit of a favor. We want you to hit the share button. If you are loving this episode, if you are having so much fun hanging out with us here and talking all about dragons, we want you to hit that share button now and let us know that you are enjoying it. That lets Facebook know that we're doing something good, that they should be showing this to more people, and they should be bringing more fans to come hang out with us so we can do more interviews just like this. Bonus points. You have an author you would love to see, go ahead and tag them below. Let them know so I can hang out with them and get them on for an interview as well. So, Sarah, this is really exciting that you have these seasons that you are doing within your series. Do you think it's going to be one of those things where you just keep going and going and going with different characters? Or do you have kind of, maybe 1, 2, 3 characters and then you're going to move on to something else?
Well, I'm not 100% sure yet. I have 4 ideas, but for 4 seasons. But whether or not all 4 happen, I guess will have to depend on how much people love this series. I pretty much feel like as long as people are enjoying it, as long as they're telling me I want to keep reading, I'm just going to keep on going. But if it starts to fizzle or fade and people aren't as excited as me, well, then maybe I'll write something else. But for now, I have 4 in mind, and I guess we'll just see where it comes. And I do want to make sure I answer Alyssa's question about the 100-page novellas. And I just write them that short because I love reading them that short.
And I know, actually, I'm a friend with Alyssa. I know she enjoys some of those shorter stories as well. So I have a feeling she just dove into your series last night. I have a feeling she's just going to race through them.
I bet people can read them very quickly. Some of my readers will read more than 100 books in a year. And that's not just my little short ones. That's through big, huge books. And I know that you guys are voracious, which is really exciting.
Alyssa says that they are easy to devour, which is what she loves about those. And it's really cool that people can read so much so quickly and they just go through it. That is one of the best things. And speaking of fans, I know you have kind of a rabid fan base. They are really, really up on all things Sarah. So I have to ask, what has been your best experience with your fans so far?
So I have one reader. He's amazing. His name is Harold, and his wife made me a dragon sweater and sent it to me. It has a dragon stitched in it in glow-in-the-dark thread. I'm completely in love with it. So that I have to say that's probably my most heartwarming fan thing.
That is the coolest thing ever. I feel like I'm going to have to, I don't know if you have pictures of this on social media. I'm going to stalk your social media now to find that because I love it. But if you don't, I need to see a picture of that later. How cool is that?
I'll get a picture and I'll pop it in the comments after the interview.
Perfect. Oh, that's perfect. So guys, you're live with us, make sure you check back in a little bit. If you're on the replay, in the comments, check it out. You will see this gorgeous sweater. Let's see. Alyssa is saying that your series is definitely going to help her boost her reading numbers this year, too. And, oh, well, you're actually in for a treat here, Sarah. Alyssa wants to know if anyone has ever made you a dragon candle before. She's the queen of candles. She has actually made candles for my series and for a whole bunch of author series, including some that are hanging out with us right now in the comments. You should connect with her later, and you might just get some candles for your books.
Yeah, I love candles, and I do not have any dragon candles, so we're definitely going to have to talk.
Oh, it's fantastic. I'll connect you guys after the show because so much fun. She says she knows someone. She does know someone. Yes, she does. So guys, in fact, speaking of candles, we actually did an episode on bookish swags and on bookish candles where we talked all about how she creates her bookish candles over on Young Adult Edition. So if you have not seen that episode, make sure you check it out in our Young Adult Edition playlist, both on YouTube and on our Facebook page if you want more information on that. Amber is saying that Elle made candles for her as well and that they are amazing. So lots of love for the dragon candles that are soon to be created. I'm so excited for this. And if you are here with us live, I need to know, guys, what questions do you have for Sarah about Dragon School? Now, I know you said this earlier. What number book are you on, Sarah?
So number 15 is coming out on the 20th of August, and I'm writing number 17 right now. So we're getting really close. There's just 3 more after this to conclude the whole huge story.
Now, are you planning on taking a little bit of a hiatus between season 1 and season 2, kind of like they do with TV, or are you going right into it?
I think I'm going to take a couple weeks off in between, like literally 2 weeks. So it's going to be probably a month between the end of season 1 and the beginning of season 2. So hopefully everyone can hang in with me patiently for just 1 month there.
That's fantastic. And I kind of love that you really, truly are treating this like a TV show where you get that break and you kind of get to do all these really cool different things. Amber's in the comments, and she would like to know, what is your favorite dragon story or dragon from a story that you did not write? So do you have a favorite dragon?
That's a good question. I have a lot of favorites in my books, but from a story I didn't write, I think I'm going to have to say Smaug from The Hobbit, because he kind of inspired me dragon-wise as a child. I loved the cover of The Hobbit when I was a kid. It had the big golden dragon Smaug on the front, and I found him so inspiring, and he just lit up my imagination.
That's amazing. Alyssa would like to know, Draco from Dragonheart or Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon? Which one do you prefer?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think I'm going to go with Toothless. I kind of love his antics and that adorable face.
I know, he's just like a big puppy dog. I adore it.
Well, if you can believe it, I had never even seen How to Train Your Dragon until last month. And I'd written all these dragon school books, and I'd never even seen it. It was a serious delight. I watched it by myself. I have kids, and I still watched it by myself. It was awesome. I loved that show.
That's so funny. I don't have kids, and I watch it by myself. So that's so funny, though. Oh, my gosh. So now you're probably going through all of them, because I know there's a whole bunch of those movies, right?
There's a whole bunch. They're great. And there's also books based on them, too, I noticed.
Are there?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's so much fun. Oh, my goodness. You learn something new.
That's right. You can never have enough dragons, so it's nice to have all these different dragon avenues. And speaking of Dragonheart, I haven't seen that since I was in my teens, but I saw it came up on Netflix, so I think I'm going to rewatch it. I do remember Sean Connery's voice during Dragonheart.
That's so funny. I've never seen it, but now that I know it's on Netflix, I guess I have something to do.
That's right.
Alyssa says that she loves Toothless because he's very cat-like, but Draco, I don't know how to say it, sorry guys, has my heart. Also, Smaug is amazing. I loved him and they did a great job in the movie, and she remembers sobbing while watching it.
Aww. I remember being really sad during Dragonheart too. I don't remember the specifics. I just remember it being sad and heartwarming and kind of sweet at the same time.
So I should have the tissues ready when I watch it, right?
I think so.
So
Also, remember, it's from my teens, so that was a little while ago, and the special effects might not be what they would be today.
we'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. So that brings me to another question. How many tissues am I going to need for your series? Because I haven't actually jumped into it yet. Is it going to be one of those where I need to keep a box next to me?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit of a tearjerker. It always has happy endings in the end, but I do put these poor characters through a lot. And my poor fans, my arc readers are always telling me that they cried at the end, and I feel so bad. I cry a little bit too, but it's very good. I don't mind crying as long as there's a happy ending, right?
Yes. So then that brings me to my next question. You put your characters through a lot of trauma in your books. Are you one of those authors that delights in that, or do you actually sit there and cry along with them and just feel so horrible for putting them through it?
Oh, yeah, I cry the whole time. I get so sad for them. I'm so upset. I feel like as long as I know I'm crying, then probably my readers are feeling the exact same way. But then I get excited when things are going good for them too. So yeah, I'm not a cruel author. I don't hate my characters. I love them so much. I feel so bad for the things that happen to them.
Oh, we've got people begging that you do not hurt your dragons in the comments below. So just, keep that in mind. People are sad already and they haven't even gone through everything yet.
Oh no. Don't worry. There's one thing I promise people because they always get upset, and that is that our beloved main dragon, who's purple, Railcan, that he is not going to die in the series.
Oh, thank goodness.
It might get close, though.
I always get so worried when I'm reading books and there's animals of any kind in it because the authors are going to put them through everything and they may not make it. And I just get so nervous. So I'm really glad that I have that assurance now.
That's right. I can't promise the other dragons will be okay, but I will promise that one.
That's the main one. That's what's most important. So as long as we're good with that. Hey, listen, guys, we have a few minutes left of our show. If you have questions, if you have comments, now is the time to jump down into those comments below and hit us up with your best questions. If you are on our replay, we still want to hear from you, whether you are here on facebook.com/k.m.robinson or over on our YouTube page or on our blogs. We want your comments. We're going to make sure that we get in there and we get those answered for you. And if you have a really, really good one, we might just be able to get Sarah back to answer some more questions and do some fun things here on our live broadcast. So hit us up. Let us know what you want to hear more of and get those questions in if you are live with us because we only have a few more minutes. Now, Sarah, before we move on, I know that you have a little bit of something fun to share with us in terms of your very first book in this series. And for the people who are hanging out with us who have not tried your books before, why do they want to pay attention to this? Tell me right now what you're doing.
This is great, you guys. If you haven't tried this series yet, I'm putting Dragon School First Flight, that's the very first one, up for free on Saturday and Sunday. So just those 2 days. It'll be free anywhere that you can get it on Amazon. And if you haven't read this series yet, this is your chance to score it and give it a try and see what you think without any obligation to buy anything.
Exactly. So I am really excited because the first book is free. You can dive into the series, fly into the series. Maybe I should say fly, dragonfly, right? I should watch my words. Yes, right in. We're going to swoop into this series right now, guys. So excited about this. This weekend, you can get it for free. Connie is here hanging out with us, and she would like to know, if you had a pet dragon, what would it be like?
Well, I'm lucky enough to live on 50 acres of forest, so I have room for a pet dragon. I think mine would be a lot of trouble because my kids are a lot of trouble. And I'm assuming my dragon would be the same way. I'm anticipating that I'd be putting out forest fires basically every day. So I'd need a lot of hoses and possibly a fire hydrant hookup. And I'm thinking that mine would be like my purple dragons, which are telepathic, talking to me and driving me crazy all day long.
Okay, so then I have to ask, if you have a telepathic purple dragon out in your forest that is talking to you all the time, is your dragon hindering your writing or helping?
Well, if he's anything like the ones in the series, his comments will all be sarcastic and a little bit biting, and that will probably help me to write, I would guess. Although a lot of my dragons are also a little bit bad-tempered, and they like to burp in people's faces to get that great belchy sulfur smell going. So that might distract me.
That's hilarious. Oh my goodness, you have such creative dragons there. I kind of love that. Amber wants to know, if you had said dragon, what would it be named?
Oh, that's a really good question.
And you can't steal names from the books.
I can't steal names from the books.
Nope.
Or from my list of 200 potential dragon names, I guess. I had all my fans who wanted to give me their dragon name, and there was like a formula with like some letters from your dad's name and some from your mom's and some from yours. And it came up with a list of like 300 potential dragon names. And whenever I need to name one, I pull from that list. So I haven't actually had to make up a dragon name at all.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know. But I guess, I don't know, I'd have to make up something pretty unique to not be on that list. Maybe, I don't know. I'm sorry, guys, I'm stumped. They're all unpronounceable almost. So my poor narrator has to figure that out.
So wait, your readers have to figure it out. That means you don't actually know how to pronounce it? You just kind of run with it?
A lot of them I'm just running with. I say them however I want in my mind. I told my audio narrator that she can say them however it works for her mouth. And if she can get it out there, we'll go with that.
I feel like
the only one that I'm married to is Al Skibi. I like him a lot, and I'm married to the way his name is pronounced.
That is so funny. I feel like that must be so hard for your narrator too, if they have to consistently say the name the right way, whatever way that happens to be. So you say it one way in the beginning and you have to carry it through.
It's not just readers I'm torturing my poor narrator too.
That's hilarious. Hey, speaking of narrators, shameless self-promo here. In 2 weeks, 2 Mondays, so not this Monday, but the 27th, we actually have audiobook narrator coming to hang out with us on Young Adult Edition. She's going to be reading some really cool stuff for us. Her name is Stacey Glemboski, and she is going to be hanging out with us answering questions. So if you have questions for an audiobook narrator, come hang out Monday, 10 a.m. on the 27th. It's going to be lots of fun. And we're getting lots of fabulous comments saying, oh my gosh, about your names, and that's so awesome. So I absolutely love that. And I love your process for naming your dragons too. I just feel like pulling all those letters together must be so much fun.
It is a lot of fun. I'm so happy that so many fans decided to write in and give me theirs. It's really saved me a lot of trouble of having to name all these dragons.
For sure. And I'm sure they're absolutely floored. Do you tell them in advance that you picked their name, or is it kind of they read through it and like, wait, that one was mine?
It's an Easter egg. You got to go on a hunt. I sometimes tell them when I've named a bunch of dragons in a book, when I'm like, I've named 5 this week, so watch for your name. It might be in there.
That is so
And I'm not going to lie, I pay a little bit more preference to the people who are in my fan group. Their names were at the top, and I try and grab more names from that than from all the rest.
That's fantastic. And I love how interactive you make this, because you are putting books out so frequently and you have such an interactive fan base. I love that you're making this something that they can be involved in and then invest all of their time, because every 18 days they've got a brand new book where they can be looking for the things that they helped you figure out.
That's right. And I just love having them. They're such an amazing resource, especially right now that I'm this many books in. Sometimes I have to go to them and say, I have forgotten this small detail. Has anyone read this book recently and can tell me what that detail was?
They must absolutely love how interactive they get to be.
They're great. I could not do this without them.
That's so much fun. Oh, I absolutely love this. And unfortunately, we're getting to the end of our time, which I'm so sad about, because this has been so much fun. Before we go, I want to know, give me your best pitch. Why should people jump into Dragon School?
Guys, if you love a true underdog story, but at the same time, something that's like heartwarming and sweet and that really makes you want to live in the world the characters are in, then you're going to love Dragon School. It's one of those like lunch break, bedtime kind of books, the ones that make you kind of feel good about living life and not too dark. So definitely, if that's your kind of jazz, then jump right in. You're going to love this. And there's lots of episodes for all those lunch breaks and all those evenings when you just need to curl up with a book that are definitely coming now that fall is on the way.
That's amazing. And clearly, Sarah is very, very involved with her fan base. So if you are a fan who likes to get involved with authors, have conversations, talk with them, and potentially help out with some bookish stuff, Sarah is the author for you. Make sure you check her out. Sarah, tell everybody where they can find you.
So you can find me on Facebook, Sarah K.L. Wilson, and that's the letters KL in the middle. And you can also find me at Blackwatch and Beyond, which is my Facebook fan group. Don't ask, we'll explain it in the group.
It's insider, guys. Insider information in there. I love it. Hey, listen, thank you so much for joining us, guys. If you have more questions, if you have more comments, hit us up below. We want to hear from you guys. We want to know what is going on. And we're doing more really cool events very soon. So let me give you just a little tiny rundown of what we have going on in the next couple of days and the next couple of weeks. I am incredibly excited because we have more author interviews coming. If you want to hang out for more author interviews, if you have an author you would like to see interviewed, jump into those comments below and tag them. I want to make new friends, and I want to meet you if you're an author who would like to come on and be interviewed as well. So if you have author friends, if you have an author you love, or if you are an author, let me know. We'll see how many people we can get on these live broadcast interviews and over on some of my other shows as well. Speaking of which, every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can come hang out with me for Young Adult Edition with my co-host, Elle Beaumont. Every week we have on brand new author guest stars. We have bookish people who come on, book reviewers. There's people who make book swag. Amazing people and amazing times over at Young Adult Edition. We would love to have you join us right here on Facebook.com/k.m.robinson And in continuing with our series of really cool interviews, I might just have something that's a little bit different than what you usually see here next Wednesday. I am so excited because we have a famous magician coming to hang out with us because I'm a big fan of magic. Books involve magic, so we're going to tie it all together. His name is Lion Flood. He was actually on Penn and Teller Fool Us last season, and he is going to come do some magic tricks for us next Wednesday afternoon. I would love to see you guys come and join us as well. And of course, you can hang out with me at k.m.robinsonbooks.com, where we have behind the scenes from all of my books, different author interviews, different events, all sorts of fun, fabulous things. And you can hit me up at k.m.robinsonbooks on all the social media platforms as well, where we have more live broadcasts just like this one. And I would love to see you come hang out with us, or maybe even come on camera with me. Connie's giving a little love to Young Adult Edition. Thank you, Connie. Connie's actually going to be hanging out with us as a guest author in the very near future. We're going to give you information on that coming up soon. But for now, we do need to say goodbye. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I appreciate you being here for our dragon-inspired author interview with Sarah K.L. Wilson. Sarah, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you hanging out.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We will see you guys again next time. Until then, stay inspired. Bye-bye.